And Paul, I think I want to make this point. You can come after us. You may not like us, but we are very good at what we do. The work that we do is really important for the government of Ghana. Now, when people play games with these sort of things, and just imagine all the headlines that are going on. Black Star causes financial loss to the state. Charles ADU Boahen's company does this. He is in the middle of negotiations. That weakens his hand because the person sitting opposite him is all of a sudden reading this and is talking to him and has a different impression.
But he should tell the person it's not true.
Well, you can say that, but in this sort of world of finance, any little bit of information is important. Now, I'll tell you what that does. You may think that, oh yeah, you're getting back at him. I mean, we're in silly season now. We're a few years away from an election and people are going to use this as whatever. But the people who pay for this may not be Honorable Charles at the end. It's the ordinary man and woman on the street. Look, Ghana's debt currently is 80% held by Ghanaians. If Charles is at the table negotiating with an investor, and you have these sort of headlines, and the investor decides that Ghana is risky and says, well, you pay me 1% more. 1% more on our outstanding debt is the equivalent of about 2 billion Ghana cedis. 2 billion Ghana cedis in our current dispensation is enough money to do all the things that government says is going to do. So I am just making a point that, look, we are not the enemy. I tell you, we are not the enemy. We do our work. We will do this work for free. And in fact, as a company, look, we take these sort of allegations seriously, and we will review our processes and see what we will do. But it's important for people to know that we are not here because we got, we just slid in the front door. We know what we do, and you can ask anybody on this, on the in Ghana's capital markets, the work that we do and the quality and the service that we offer. So, again, the point is, don't let petty politics have such an effect on the country, because the people who pay are the mums and pops whose investments are in these government securities. It's really important that as a nation at this particular point in time, we put those things aside, because there are real challenges ahead. Look, the world all over is experiencing unprecedented challenges. We are not the only ones in this boat. So don't rock this boat so that all of us sink just because a few people want to have, whatever it is. I don't care. I'm not a politician. But we see the impact it has on the markets. As I'm saying, a 1% move in your interest rates doesn't hit Mr. Charles ADU Boahen. It actually hurts the young men and women who would pay for this much later down in their lives. Look, I'm not a politician. I'm not the one who decides the budget. My job is to find government the lowest cost debt, the best structure that allows us to be able to continue and do some of the work that every government wants to do. We will at some point in time, somebody's trading volumes will become better than us, and they'll do the job, and rightly so. We've never had the position at any point in time that we would be there forever, and that's why it's important in this structure that it's an automatic process. Because then it's not subject to manipulation.
And it's transparent.
It's transparent.
Okay, very well said. Do you want to go to Parliament?
Look,
because you keep saying I'm not a politician.
No,
one said I'm not a politician when he was a lecturer than Professor Mills. He became president of Ghana eventually.
Believe me, Paul, that's the furthest thing from my mind.
You don't want okay, all right.
That's the furthest thing from my mind.
Right now, given your expertise, Ghana seems to be in crisis. You've just said that it's not just Ghana. But our currency today, the dollar is still hovering beyond 10. And since March, we've had such a major currency devaluation. Professor Hanke, have you read his articles? He thinks that inflation in Ghana is actually 71%, it's not 32%. From where you sit as an expert, and the government continues to say they're doing infrastructure, they've kept the lights on, they're paying for education, they've given cola to civil servants, and government continues to urge us that they are doing the work and that they will also get to fix this problem as well. A lot of Ghanaians have panicked. Have you panicked?
No, I haven't panicked, because I have great hope in the vision of the country. I certainly think that obviously we have challenges, but they're not insurmountable. It just means that we have to take some very tough decisions about what we do in the economy. I think as Ghanaians we have to realize that, and this is why I was really stressing on the point that petty sort of things do not help us overall. The focus has to really be on the economy. At the moment, there are perhaps negotiations ongoing. People need to be able to have the room to breathe, to do those, to execute those transactions so that the relief can come. Look, And again, for my love for numbers, and I've done quite a bit of study. As I said, we hired data analysts to do a lot of work. We can get out of this, but we need room. So looking at our debt structure and what we need to do, we need to create the fiscal room for us to get out of this. It may take maybe a couple of years and from sort of our analysis to do it, but it's possible. One of the key things I do, and I often hear people say we import too much, which is true, but we're a rapidly growing economy, Paul. You're wearing a watch, you're wearing a phone. These things aren't made here. Like, they have to be imported. One of the biggest imports we have is fuel. You know, yes, there's rice and chicken and all those things, and I think, look, we have arable land. I think tourism is probably the lowest hanging fruit.
So you're saying that instead of looking at the reducing demand, we should increase supply. Instead of looking at reducing demand of imports, as people talk about, we should rather work on increasing supply
exactly.
of dollars. So tourism.
Yeah, tourism.
And stuff like that.
Tourism for me is a big one. And look, simple statistics. Every individual that comes into the country, even for 10 days, what's a hotel? $200. 10 days. That's $2,000. They would eat, etc. Probably another $100 a day. So that's almost $3,000 for each individual that comes. You get 100,000 people in this country. That's $3 billion that comes into your country every year. 100,000
That's
people.
interesting.
100,000 people is only one flight extra every day, because the average plane carries 300 people. Mm-hmm. So it's one extra flight, if you can get into this country by reducing all the barriers around people entering into the country, could potentially generate you $3 billion. Now, that's just 100,000 people. You can do the multiples, right? You get 200, you get more.
206 billion.
Yes, but the beauty of tourism is that revenue is spread. So if you have tourist sites right across the country, that money gets distributed to people in the north.
So some of the money goes to Cape Coast.
Exactly. So it goes to Cape Coast. You have, and one of the things we haven't done well is our festivals. There are people who book tickets for the Rio de Janeiro festival years in advance. Why isn't the traditional Adom-Otchere festival and some of the other festivals we do celebrate?
We are currently celebrating Homo.
Yes, but Homo should be more. Look, Homo is a magnificent example of one of the things that it's in the capital. We should capitalize on that. There should be all the chiefs coming together doing the pageantry.
Somebody will still tell you, Eric, you're speaking nicely, but that's for tomorrow. Today.
Yeah, no. So
what is happening to Ghana's economy?
So those things are important, and they're low-hanging fruit. Getting an extra plane here is.
But that's medium term.
No, you can do that tomorrow if you want to, with relatively little funds. You do something interesting at Mount Alpha-Jado, you do something interesting at Adom-Otchere, you do something in Morley Park, you go to...
You're right, because the president just announced a year of return when he was in Jamaica, and then it turned out to be a tourism boost.
But it's such a shame that we had COVID the very next year.
So hopefully this year we'll get back to it.
Well, this year, but I also want to go back, and that's tourism. But in order to have the tourism, you need to have the digital economy to be able to power that, because, when I travel, sometimes I don't even have a human being checking in my bag. It's all digital. So QR codes and things like that are very important for this tourism ecosystem to exist.
Very right about the digitization, because when young Ghanaians came to the airport last December, and some of them had never been, they're born in America, their parents are Ghanaians, they followed their friends, they saw Afrochella on their phone, and they came in. Their first concern was about their phone. And they were very excited when the airport had the internet, and they could quickly connect to everyone.
Those
and
things,
nothing has changed.
Those things are very...
So digitization and infrastructure, good roads.
Yeah, certainly good roads. Obviously you need your core roads that help your commodities, but you also have to be strategic in some of the sites you go to, like, some of the key sites. Legon, for me, is one of the most beautiful architectural structures we have in Ghana.
The University of Ghana.
Yes, you can have tours around there. We don't have a zoo in Accra. And Paul, you might laugh, but the first time I saw a hippopotamus was in Austria. Why don't we have those things here? This is Africa. I think these are where these things are. There are children who grow up not seeing some of these animals.
Look, what are you doing with all these ideas and still say I don't want to be in politics?
Look, someday, sometime, not in politics, but I may write a book.
Ideas are needed to as a politician.
They're more intelligent
ministers and
people.
members of parliament. Yes, but they need to come in.
No, they're more intelligent people. Look, and before I came on here, the number of people who told me don't come, etc. But that's because everybody is scared to have a conversation, and that's because of the vitriol and the very poisonous environment that is created. Yeah. That makes it difficult for people to speak out, because I'm sure as I speak out, people would say all sorts of things about me. But I know where my heart is, and I know, look, Ghana is the most important thing. We don't have any other country. And so for me, it's really important that we deal with it. But back to your question around what we do now. Look, there are tough decisions to be made around how we manage our costs, etc. A large part of our cost is interest in the public sector. And we have to look at how we can make some of these things more efficient. These things are very important for the longevity of the market.